Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You're welcome. And before we begin, yes, it is a new hat, and yes, it is f***ing disgusting. But thank you very much to Nick and Emma, who came all the way up from Bristol to give me this delightful, delightful present. Anyway, let's crack on with the show and hit that intro. So one of the many things that we at WhatCulture critique the WWE on is its lack of self-awareness. It's one of those things where it just blithely moves forward without really noticing what's going on. I mean, we have to remember that they submitted Raw 25 for a Best TV award, and that was, to put it bluntly, dolphin dick. This week, however, they decided to do a little cheeky wink and a nod that was meant to be sort of tongue-in-cheek, but ended up being a tongue in the cheek pulling a trigger that was aimed at a gun aimed at their feet. Didn't go too well. So Brock the Ides of Smarks is basically a giant plum who's holding on to the jammiest of WWE belts at the moment and doing very, very little with it, refusing to show up and basically just slagging off the promotion while he eventually departs over to UFC. This week, however, he did show up, but he was still just a massive arsehole. So what happened was that Paul Heyman went down to the ring, cut a nice promo, bigging him up. Then Roman Reigns came out, said a few suffering succotashes in his direction. So Paul Heyman stormed backstage and he was like, "Brock Lesnar, have you heard what he said about you?" And Brock, sitting there on his couch potato amaranth-coloured arse, reading the local rag, looked up and just said, "Nah. Why would I know what Roman Reigns says? I don't watch Raw. Why the hell would you think I watch Raw?" Well, I don't know, because you may be the fucking champion of it. You goddamn bleached blonde prick. Why would I watch the show? A champion who just shat on his own promotion. It's a very strange move, and the WWE were clearly trying to phase it off as being like, "Oh, aren't you gonna boo him now, aren't you? Because he's such a cheeky whippet, and oh, Roman Reigns, doesn't he look so good by comparison?" But what they actually did was they highlighted a question which we should all be asking ourselves. Why are we watching this? I mean, most people actually aren't, because you had your lowest viewership ratings ever recently. So while you're probably thinking, "Oh yeah, this will put bums in seats," it's going to turn people off. It was a nice idea, WWE. A for effort, but F for f*** off, Brock Lesnar. We're done with you now. Well, hello there, sailor. It turns out that the Big Red Machine has now finally become the Big Red Mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Well done, Glenn Jacobs. Big credit to you, you massive man. In fact, you're so tall, you couldn't even fit into your acceptance video. That was actually quite funny, but not the point of this. It's actually really insane, not for the simple fact that there is another wrestler in the political field. I mean, that's been done before, but I'm just kind of mind blown by the fact that his leathery face is walking up and down trying to kiss the babies, if you know what I mean. And it does make you wonder, what are his policies gonna be? Yeah, dream transition.
Isaac. What do you plan to do with all the rubbish in the area? Incinerate the trash. Excellent idea.
Mr. Jacobs,
Isaac.
how do you plan to solve the region's energy issues? Lots of fire. Excellent.
Mr. Vic, what are your plans to help people with this record heat wave?
I bloody love Ronda Rousey. She's the baddest woman on the roster for a reason, and those hip takedowns, mamacita, you can dance with me anytime, but please don't. I bruise very easily. What I'm trying to say is that I bloody love her match, and even though she is still technically green as anything, she runs rings around other talent on the roster. But wait, there's a new challenger, one who is unstoppable, made of stone with fists like trains that are driving buses of hate. It's Alicia Fox. Now, you didn't mishear me. Alicia Fox, the crazy bitch who's got one t-shirt line and has done absolutely f*** all with her ring tenure, apart from being a reminder of why the Divas section failed. She went out and beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey this week. Yeah. I could stop there. I could easily stop there, couldn't I? But I won't. Now, I'm not going to rag on Alicia Fox herself too much. I mean, after all, she's got a nice Northern Lights suplex, and to be fair, she's only really filling in for Mickie James, who got injured on a house show recently. But the only way that I'd credibly believe that she could take on Ronda Rousey is if she took off that ridiculous Captain Sailor hat that she had when she was the captain of Survivor Series and threw it at her as a distraction. Anything else, and I ain't buying it. No sell. Corey Graves had this to say on the matter. Fox is one of the most deceptively powerful women on the entire roster. That line alone sent tea shooting out of my nose, which is a bit weird actually because I was drinking straight vodka at the time. But it serves to highlight just how insane this moment is. Not because of the fact that Alicia Fox is about as threatening as Adam Cleary coming up and trying to start a fight with you. He's about 3 foot tall and made of marshmallows. But also how the WWE creative really dropped the ball here. Just write somebody else in there. You don't need to use the same segment, maybe change it to fit Alicia Fox's crazy ways. Or for f***'s sake, find somebody different. But no, they chose her instead. This scene was about as credible as you being in a casting couch porno and saying that that makes you good at upholstery. But either way, the crazy Alicia Fox beat up Ronda Rousey. So you know what? Alicia Fox throwing around the baddest woman on the planet like she's a wet towel into a bin at a Butlins theme park. Are you having a giraffe? Are you having a giraffe? Whew, right, so that was Raw. So what about SmackDown? Was it about as appealing as having a handy off of Maggie Thatcher? No, it was actually pretty goddamn good. Yeah, seriously, it was a pretty good show. You started off the night by having Samosev Joseph come out and cut a good promo against AJ Styles, basically going for his kids, which probably got the suits behind the scenes getting a bit worried because that's usually not their wide demographic approach. But what it did highlight is that he's one of the best promo cutters in the business right now. And I actually am really hyped about their feud. Then we went on to robotic Randy Orton, who actually decided to develop some character for the first time in about 5 years, because he beat the shit out of Jeff Hardy and wiped off his face paint, which I actually really enjoyed because no one wants a reminder of Willow, not even a whiff of it. So I'm glad that he did that, and he actually became the seething heel. And I actually think that he might actually become quite a good bad guy. Never thought I'd praise Randy Orton. Usually think his matches are dull as f***. And finally, SmackDown landed the hat trick of having Charlotte versus Becky Lynch, which just reeks of a good feud, and I will feast on that for many a day. And it managed to bury Carmella just a little bit as well, so win, goddamn win. So on this week's SmackDown, what we had was good match quality, character development, and taking some heat away from a champion that no one cares about. So, yeah, well done SmackDown. Insane to see you doing so well. And now welcome to the Philosophical Corner.
When can a match with no necks be so neck-breaking?
Oh, Phil, thank you so much again. These words, they just exude out of your body, which is glowing so much I shouldn't be able to see you right now. Also, it's when the match contains Kota Ibushi and Tomohiro Ishii. Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii. Kota Ibushi, Tomohiro Ishii. Seriously, there is no better way to end this show than by talking about a match that was more of a goddamn murder. These two went at each other so hard and so fierce that it was almost uncomfortable to watch. The slaps were harder than that time that Jerry Lawler bitched that woman on TV. Not funny. You should watch that clip, it's actually quite harrowing. I mean, the kickouts were closer than a redneck brother and sister, and you know what? The match felt quick, despite being about as slow as erosion. It was utterly bizarre, and one of those rare things that just exemplifies that, as Hamflet was telling me this morning, New Japan necessarily isn't a storytelling promotion, but it so delivers on match quality that it almost doesn't matter. That being said, I'm also liking Okada at the moment. But to get back on topic, there is no gimmick about this entry other than the fact that it's just two mad bastards having a good old claw at each other, and you should definitely check it out. And I also appreciated / was terrified by the amount of stiff headbutts they used. It sounded like cannonballs clacking together, which is probably about the size of these guys' nuts. Either way, fantastic stuff. And there we go. Now to close out the show the only way I know how, by reading my favourite comments from last week's episode. But wait, plot twist. It's not actually going to be comments from last week's episode. It's going to be physical media I got sent in to the WhatCulture address that I'll put on screen right now if you want to send in more stuff. The first one is from Tom Muscleman and his kids. He drew a little picture of me wearing the Aerial Salad t-shirts. That's promotion within a promotion, that is. That's brilliant. He's just saying, having a giraffe, mate, and I look angry and bold. Brilliant. And it's from Tom, Violet, Brandon and Hayley, his missus. How you doing, love? I'll move on from that, a bit awkward, but I know he's not feeling very well, Tom. Speedy recovery, mate. Thank you so much for the support, like genuinely. I hope that you get everything sorted out. All right. And secondly, I got this one from Ryan, which is a nice postcard, obviously, of a Star Wars thing. Not to do with wrestling, but it says on the back here, to the wrestling lads. Are you having a giraffe? No question mark, actually just a statement. Are you having a giraffe? You can't even say it without a question. Anyway, keep up the good work. I will, Ryan. Thank you very much. And it's come from the good old US of A. I can't tell where. It just says USA forever on the back. Well, I won't say forever. Give it another 200 years. Then we'll see how legitimate it is. Anyway, as always, I've been Jules. Thank you so much for watching, and a huge, huge love to Phil Chambers and Michael Sidgwick. Sidgwick? Cut to the thing, because I messed up his name. And there we have it. The only thing that's left for me to do now is to say a massive thank you to Phil Chambers and Michael Sidgwick for their continued work on this show, as well to you at home for watching. As always, I've been Jules. You have indeed, as ever, been awesome. Thank you so much. And a little side note, the giraffe t-shirts, still on their way. Just have to work out some stuff out with the artists. Bosses have been a bit cold on the subject, but don't worry. Daddy's keeping this fire warm. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.